how that was. That'd be a lot easier to load, wouldn't it? Open it up, put the rounds in, close it up. And versus this one, you open it up, put it on half cock, and you have to work each round out individually. Okay? Now this was considered a more durable firearm, simpler, and maybe even more ergonomic by most people. But this one was a little faster, so it appealed to the cavalry, and it was adopted. They bought quite a few of these things. But what happened? Why did it die off? Well, partly a lot of firearms are out there already, the numbers, the Colt and everything, but you see the difference in the cartridges. We got a 45 Colt, and we got a 45 Schofield. I think Smith & Wesson was instructed to make it in the same chambering as the Colt single action, the way I read it, but they didn't. They decided they wanted it to be a shorter cartridge. I think that was Smith & Wesson's choice. They just thought that was cool. They were in charge, and that's what they would do. Maybe because they had the contract or whatever. So it was shorter. Now, the problem was the shorter cartridge was working the Colt, right? Because that's the only difference. It's just shorter. But this longer one, 45, that's why some people still call the 45 Colt the long Colt. Okay, that's where that comes from. It would not work in the Schofield. All right? Now, in this one it does, because this is a reproduction, it's chambered for the 45 Colt. That makes more sense, right? So you can shoot them. But the old Schofields, they were chambered only for the short one. And so you can imagine what would happen with the military. They'd ship them the wrong ammo or just 45 Colt, long Colt, and they wouldn't work, and they'd have a lot of people who needed ammo for their Schofields. So a few times of that happening, it's like, oh, hold the horses. We're just going to stick with the Colt. So that, I think, is why that's the end of that adoption period. And it didn't last all that long. Also, Schofield's, as I understand, his older brother was in charge of Army Ordnance or something, or some kind of political things and things. That might have been part of the reason, too, they dropped it. But anyway, the old Colt went from 73 to 92. Then, look at the next innovation. We have a firearm that, whoa, the cylinder just pops out like that, and you can load it. This was a 38 long Colt. Okay, 1892. Let's see if it'll shoot. Oh, yeah. Loaded with 38 long Colt. Yeah, that was a firearm. And I know it's caught a lot of flack because of a weak cartridge, and it is by most standards, but still, that was pretty cool. That's not all that different from modern Smith & Wessons. Swing out the cylinder, load it up, close it up, double action. You fire this thing. And of course, there were